Some stories are told, and some are erased. Some people disappear in seconds. But the questions they leave behind live for decades. What if you left your home one night and the world never saw you again? No goodbye, no clue, no closure. Just silence and a question mark carved in the air. Today I'm taking you to Missouri, a state filled with highways, small towns and deep woods where 5 people vanished. Cases went cold and answers never came. These are not ghost stories, not myths, not internet theories. These are real humans, real families, and real pain. Imagine calling someone who never picks up again. Imagine searching for footsteps that disappear mid-path. Imagine holding hope so long that hope itself begins to hurt. Tonight, you're not just watching a video. You're stepping into 5 unsolved mysteries that still breathe. 5 disappearances that investigators couldn't explain. 5 voices that were never heard again. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you won't just be shocked. You'll be asking yourself one terrifying question. Are these cases unsolved? Or are they unsolved on purpose? This is Dark Truth Files, and these are 5 Missouri cold cases still unsolved in 2025. Springfield, Missouri, April 14, 2012. A night soaked in rain and quiet dread. The kind of night where the sky feels heavier than the heart, and the silence seems louder than any scream. 18-year-old Emily Carter was a name known to everyone in town, not because she came from fame or fortune, but because she carried something rarer, warmth, pure and effortless. The kind of smile that made strangers believe the world was still soft around the edges. She was a freshman at Ozark Valley Community College, majoring in communications, dreaming of becoming a radio host, not for the spotlight, but for the voice it would give her. She once said in a college interview, softly and confidently, "I don't want to be famous. I want to be a voice for the unheard." She believed stories mattered, especially the ones hidden between silence and survival. Her dorm room walls were filled with sticky notes of story ideas, quotes, names, phone numbers of people she promised she'd interview someday. Every name mattered to her. Every forgotten voice deserved a microphone. That night, Emily had just finished an evening class. The campus bell chimed at 6:40 p.m. Light drizzle tapped the windows of the hallway as students scattered toward cars, buses, warmth, and routine. Emily pulled a gray hoodie over her head, one hand holding a small umbrella, the other a backpack heavy with notebooks and home-printed transcripts of stories she was collecting for a passion project. Her mother, Sarah Carter, always called at 7 p.m. sharp, and that night was no different. The phone rang twice before Emily picked up. The sound of raindrops faint in the background, her mom's voice familiar and gentle. "Em, sweetie, are you heading home?" Emily exhaled, shivering lightly. "Yeah, Mom." "Walking to the bus stop now, 10 minutes. I'll be home soon." Those were her last words ever heard directly from her voice. The bus stop sat near Pinewoods Road, a long, wooded stretch known for its whispering trees and unreliable streetlights. The rain thickened, almost theatrical, the kind of rain that blurs shapes and swallows small sounds. 3 witnesses later told authorities they saw Emily walking alone at 6:58 p.m. One claimed she looked nervous, glancing over her shoulder twice. Another said a black SUV idled on the roadside without headlights, engine humming low like a secret. The third witness, a gas station clerk, swore he saw her hesitate, as though deciding between walking faster or turning back. But by 7:05 p.m., Emily was gone, vanished between raindrops and darkness. When the 7:10 p.m. bus arrived, the driver noted only 2 passengers. Neither was a young girl with a gray hoodie and a bright future. The driver remembered the emptiness more than the faces, because Emily was always the one who greeted him with, "Evening, sir. Hope your route is calm tonight." But that night, the greeting never came. 7:40 p.m. Sarah Carter knew something was wrong. Her daughter never missed curfew, never missed a call, never missed anything involving the word home. She dialed again. Then again, voicemail, rain still falling, fear now rising. Police were contacted at 8:10 p.m. Missing person file opened at 8:29 p.m. Search began at 9 p.m. Volunteers dragged heavy boots through mud, flashlights trembling against the forest edges, rain washing away footprints almost as soon as they formed. Tracking dogs were deployed at 11:20 p.m., but even the dogs grew confused, pacing in frustrated circles near Pinewoods clearing, as though Emily's trail evaporated into thin air. The first major lead, her phone's last active GPS ping at 7:02 p.m., Pinewoods Road, cell tower 8B. Coordinates fixed, investigators arrived at 3 a.m., drenched and determined, scanning every shadow for a clue. Then something shimmered near an oak trunk, Not metallic, not electric, softer, human. It was a single page ripped from a notebook, soaked but not destroyed, ink smudged yet readable. Handwriting unmistakably hers, shaky but intentional. It read, "Some voices are never heard. Maybe mine will be one of them." Detectives felt a chill that no rainfall could explain. This wasn't a diary entry, it was a statement, a quiet prophecy whispered into paper. Forensic teams combed the area until dawn, but found no blood, no signs of struggle, no drag marks, no broken branches, no disturbance of earth, nothing that violent disappearance normally leaves behind. Just absence, terrifying and clean. By day 5, the media storm grew louder than the Missouri wind. Headlines read, "Local girl vanishes without a trace." But the words didn't capture the weight of it. The void she left was louder than any headline. Detectives expanded the investigation, interviewing classmates, teachers, co-workers, even distant online connections. Her digital footprint revealed something unexpected. Emily had begun working secretly on an independent radio segment idea called Unheard Voices. It wasn't just academic, it was personal, deeply personal. She had spent months interviewing survivors, families of missing persons, and anonymous voices who feared speaking publicly. She believed silence was where suffering learned to hide. Then, a discovery that shifted everything. 13 days before she vanished, she uploaded an episode titled, "When Silence is Bought," but then removed it within hours. Not unlisted, not archived, deleted, forcefully and completely. The station's server logs later revealed the deletion wasn't done through her device. It was executed remotely through administrative access. Someone with authority. Someone who knew exactly what to erase. The station manager was interrogated for hours, visibly shaken but cooperative. Numbers were traced, records pulled, accounts reviewed, but technology revealed a locked door and no key. Then came the call logs. Emily had received 17 missed calls from a no-caller ID within 48 hours before disappearing. The last call came at 6:56 p.m., 4 minutes before she was last seen. Voicemail records captured silence at first, then faint breathing. No words, just presence. Heavy, alert, intentional, like someone listening but not speaking. Investigators enhanced the static, amplifying fragments of background noise. Nothing conclusive, but there was a hum. Mechanical, steady, rhythmic. Possibly a running vehicle, possibly a generator, possibly something else buried too deep to identify. The investigation took darker turns when an anonymous letter arrived at the Carter household 7 weeks later. No stamp, no return address, message short, chilling. Some stories are too expensive to tell. Handwriting didn't match any initial suspects. Paper origin generic, untraceable, yet precise enough to terrify a grieving mother even further. Months passed, storm seasons came and went. The search moved from ground to psychological profiling. A behavioral analyst concluded Emily didn't run. People who run plan exits, not tragedies. They pack bags, not journals. They erase footprints, not leave testimony soaked in rain. This disappearance had intention, and intention often has a face, just not one willing to be seen. 1 year later, detectives revisited every detail, reanalyzed every frame of CCTV, enhanced every audio clip, reassembled every timeline minute by minute, and one small moment gained attention. Captured at 6:48 p.m., campus camera 3B, Emily steps outside, pauses, checks her phone. And in the reflection of the rain-glossed door behind her, a figure stands far off, blurred, face unidentifiable, posture unreadable, but watching, not walking, watching, frozen in stillness, like a sentence with no punctuation. Theories multiplied. Some believed she overheard something too heavy. Others said she recorded a truth someone wanted buried. Some suspected surveillance. Others assumed crime of opportunity. But crimes of opportunity leave chaos. This left quiet, and quiet can be calculated. 2020 came. Global panic shifted search resources. Cold cases grew colder, but not forgotten. Not for Sarah Carter, she converted Emily's bedroom into a small memorial studio. A microphone on the desk, headphones beside it. A single lit lamp that she never turns off at night. People ask her why. She answers softly. So she knows the signal is still live. Volunteers still leave posters near Pinewoods Road despite sun fading the paper and rain stealing the ink. Locals claim something unnatural happens there after midnight storms. They say radios glitch when tuned to empty frequencies, producing faint static that sometimes shapes itself into a syllable. Once, a woman driving alone swore she heard a girl's voice layered beneath white noise, whispering a sentence incomplete but unmistakable. Can anyone? The sentence always ends there, hanging like breath against cold glass. Never finishing, never fading. Investigators agree on only 3 things. Emily didn't leave on purpose. Someone knows more than they admit, and the truth didn't disappear. It was hidden, carefully, quietly, like a secret held under breath and rainfall. Years passed, seasons changed, but the absence remained unfilled. 2025 arrived with no closure, no confession, no discovery, only the same question looping like unresolved signal interference. What happens to a voice that tries to speak truth in a world that demands silence? Is it erased, or is it merely waiting for the right frequency to be heard again? Emily Carter wanted to be the voice for the unheard, but instead she became the echo we can't stop searching for, the message stuck between static and salvation. The story still broadcasting without an ending, the signal still alive somewhere in the storm. Case 2, The Letter That Never Reached. Lewis, Missouri, 2004, a city of bridges, voices, and river winds carrying stories nobody writes down. In this city lived a man who never missed a day, never missed a route, never missed delivering what belonged to someone else. 72-year-old George Hollow. Known across St. Louis streets as Uncle Mailman, a man who carried envelopes like they were pieces of people. He had worked 40 years for the Postal Service, rain or snow, heartbreak or holiday. George treated every letter like a heartbeat in transit. Kids waved at him, elders waited for him, strangers smiled at him. He had a habit of tapping each mailbox twice after delivering mail, whispering softly, "Delivered safe," even when no one was listening. His wife had passed years earlier. His daughter moved states away. His life had grown quiet but not empty, because every street on his route had become his family. August 25, 2004, sunrise glowing amber. George kissed the framed photograph of his late wife near the door, adjusted his cap and began Route 17B like every other day, his mail truck humming through neighborhoods familiar as memory. At 9:40 a.m. he stopped by Mrs. Darnell's house. She recalls him smiling unusually softly, as if he was carrying both paper and worry. At 11:10 a.m. a bakery owner offered him coffee, which he politely declined, saying, "Got deliveries that can't wait today." That sentence sounded ordinary at the time, but later it would feel like a goodbye. By 3:00 p.m., his GPS tracking still pinged along designated roads with perfect accuracy, something he had maintained his entire career. That accuracy broke at 4:18 p.m., when his signal froze near Missouri River Bridge, a place known for its quiet current and heavy fog near dusk. Hours passed. George never returned to the postal depot. Dispatch assumed delay, co-workers assumed overtime. Nobody assumed disappearance until 8:50 p.m., when his route status showed incomplete. Unheard of for a man who once delivered mail on a sprained ankle rather than leave a route unfinished. Police were notified at 9:17 p.m. By 1:30 a.m. his postal truck was located, parked neatly near the bridge overlook. Engine off, keys still in ignition, his cap hanging straight on the seat like punctuation after a sentence. Wallet, ID, and paycheck untouched. 17 undelivered letters still arranged in postal trays, unscattered, undisturbed, almost ceremonial. No signs of robbery, no struggle, no footprints leading away, just a man-shaped absence. Investigators assumed accident theory first. Maybe he slipped over the edge. Maybe the river took more than a man. Divers searched for 18 days. Sonar scanned for 22. Nothing. Not fabric, not a shoe, not a trace beneath water or mud. The river swallowed many secrets, but never this cleanly. The FBI joined when a rookie detective cataloged every item in the truck and found something unusual. A handwritten address repeatedly scribbled on a delivery log margin. 217 Red Creek Lane. Not on his route, not in postal directory, not a recognized residence. A deviation, possibly voluntary, possibly intentional. When police arrived at Red Creek Lane, they found a single-story farmhouse at the end of an overgrown dirt road swallowed by cornfields and rusted silence. The windows boarded from the inside, the mailbox unnumbered, the door locked not with force, but with decision. Inside, dust had drawn maps of abandonment, furniture draped in sheets, clocks dead at different times like they disagreed on when the world ended. And in the center of the living room floor lay a single envelope, neatly sealed like an answer waiting to be opened. The envelope bore no stamp, no delivery barcode, no handwriting except one word written in black ink across the front. Forward, detectives opened it carefully. Inside was a 3-page letter typed with old mechanical precision. Ink sharp, tone colder, calmer, acknowledging nothing and revealing everything at once. It read, "If this letter has reached a mail carrier, then the chain remains unbroken. Some truths are not lost, they are rerouted. Undelivered stories pile up in places unseen, but silence pays heavier interest than postage. 6 names must be remembered, not forgiven. Below were 6 names, each tied to missing person cases from the 1980s. All ruled accidental, all closed without conviction, all families still unanswered. The letter ended with a sentence that made even seasoned detectives swallow fear. A man who only delivers paper may accidentally deliver truth, and truth does not need witnesses, only a rival. Forensics found George's fingerprints inside the envelope, but no others, no partials, no smudges. A perfect loneliness of evidence. But the shocking discovery came hours later. Hidden beneath floorboards under the exact spot the letter was found. A rusted metal lockbox, sealed not by key but time. Inside it was a microcassette tape labeled with a date, 08/25/04, the day George vanished. The tape was digitized immediately, played in an interrogation room that turned colder with every second of sound. The recording began with 14 seconds of silence. Then George's voice, not afraid, but weary, respectful, sorrowful, like a man speaking to something larger than himself. I've delivered words my whole life, but these words, these ones delivered me. 7 seconds pass, a breath, an inhale weighed down by gravity. Then he continues, if you found this, I finish my route, even if I don't finish the road. Static washes in, followed by a background noise, repetitive, metallic, like distant train tracks humming under weight, or a machine cycling endlessly. Analysts couldn't confirm the source. The last 4 seconds captured were chillingly simple, George whispered almost kindly. Some letters were never meant to survive delivery. And then nothing. Tape blank, no scream, no struggle, no ending. Just the absence of voice like oxygen removed from a room. The media consumed the mystery, calling it conspiracy, tragedy, disappearance, legend. But the post office retired his badge quietly, offering condolences without closure. Locals began a tradition without instruction. Every August 25 at 4:18 p.m., envelopes with names of missing people are placed gently on public mailboxes across the city, not addressed, not stamped, not sent. Just remembered, tourists think it's art. Residents know it's grief with stamps. The investigation remains open but immobile. George Hollow was never found, but he also never vanished from neighborhood memory. To this day, retired postal workers swear that on fog-heavy afternoons near Missouri River Bridge, a mail truck engine can faintly be heard, idling, deliberate, dutiful, with no driver visible. And if you listen close enough when the wind pauses to breathe, you may hear the softest echo of a man who believed delivery was a promise. Whisper into the quiet, route never unfinished, case status, cold, but still being carried, not closed, just undelivered. Case 3. The echo in the water lake of the Ozarks, a place where tourists chase sunsets and boat motors outnumber secrets. Or at least that's what the postcards sell. But water remembers everything, even when towns decide to forget. 2018, June 8th. Humidity draped over the lake like a heavy curtain. 20-year-old Lydia Marsh prepared for her evening routine. Life jacket slung, braid tied tight, keys clipped at her waist. She wasn't just a local lake tour employee. She was lake-raised, lake-loved, lake-named by locals as the daughter of the current. Lydia spoke to water like it was a living conversation partner instead of geography. She told tourists strange things before every ride, delivered like poetry, not caution. The lake echoes back if you listen long enough. But most people only listen at the surface. People laughed. Assuming performer, not prophet. Lydia was studying environmental science, but not the classroom kind, the truth under pressure kind. She carried notebooks filled with water density records, sonar irregularity sketches, and voice memos recorded at 3 a.m. by the shore. Her professors treated her like a brilliant eccentric. The local council treated her like someone who might soon ask questions they preferred unasked. That evening, she boarded Tour Boat 7 alone. The last scheduled ride of the day, sky-bruised lavender, lake glass. Still, tour is canceled due to rising storm forecast. Meaning Lydia was on water officially, but alone unofficially. Marina cameras recorded her pushing off at 8:49 p.m., humming a melody locals recognized but couldn't name. At exactly 9:17 p.m., the marina radio operator received static. Then a voice threaded through interference, unmistakably Lydia, whispering like someone trying not to wake the dark. It's pulling again. It's awake below, the operator tried responding. Lydia, repeat. Your signal is breaking. Another 6 seconds of static crackled like bones shifting. Then one final transmission. Quieter, calmer, resigned. The problem isn't the surface. Contact cut completely at 9:18 p.m. Emergency protocol deployed instantly. Rescue boats launched within 5 minutes. Searchlights skimming water like anxious fingers. They found Torboat 7 floating 600 meters from last signal. Engine off, no drift trajectory, no forced impact. Just floating like a prop waiting for a scene. Lydia was gone, her life jacket on board, bone dry. Straps unclipped neatly, not ripped. Placed, not shed. Impossible math for panic. Possible grammar for intention. Divers entered at 9:44 p.m., sweeping grids, scanning depths reaching 180 feet. Visibility poor but passable. They found nothing. Not movement, not fabric, not air bubbles, not resistance, not even silence disturbed. Bodies underwater behave a certain way. This did not. Sonar mapping later showed an anomaly beneath that coordinate. A cavity, massive, unnatural in symmetry, like a hollow carved by patience instead of nature. Records confirmed that 51 years earlier, 1967, the same lake logged a classified incident involving 3 missing fishermen and 2 boats. The documents sealed, explanations replaced with weather excuses. Lydia had found the unsealed cracks in the unspoken history. Her laptop recovered from her lakeside cabin revealed weeks of encrypted research labeled Echo Vault. Audio files stacked, layered, slowed, filtered, reconstructed. They contained subterranean acoustics, whale call-like groans despite no marine mammals existing within 900 miles. Metallic shifts, geological unsteadiness, but most chilling, between noise layers, a faint human chorus, multiple voices speaking at overlapping intervals, like conversations occurring in separate years but occupying the same audio grave. Engineers confirmed it wasn't interference. It was memory encoded in pressure, sound caught between caverns and time. One recovered sample contained whisper fragments analysts couldn't explain. 3 words repeated, not random, not rhythmic, pleading, not finished yet. Lydia had annotated the file margin. If sound travels forever here, so do the disappeared. Authorities tried classifying her work as obsession. Grief logic, confirmation bias attached to water fascination. But when multiple independent audio labs flagged the same auditory anomalies without knowledge of each other's findings, silence shifted into fear. In her journal dated June 6th. 2 days before vanishing, Lydia wrote, "The lake isn't hiding something, it's holding something. There's a difference." Her final digital entry, time-stamped 2:03 a.m. June 8th. Read only one sentence. "If I don't return, tell the water I heard it back." After her disappearance, fishermen reported magnetic interference on equipment near mile marker 14. Boat radars glitched, depth finders misread, producing inverted readings like something below was pushing upward instead of downward. One eyewitness, Mark Halden, reported hearing humming beneath his hull. Not music played, music remembered, identical to the tune Lydia hummed the night she left shore. Media attention peaked. Theories collided. Sinkhole theory, acoustic retention theory, governmental cover theory, environmental rupture theory, but answers refused shape. They stayed fluid on June 8th each year since. Locals gather at 9:17 p.m. without formal invitation, not to search, but to witness. They drop biodegradable lanterns shaped like sound waves onto the lake. Not flames, not smoke, but light that floats without heat. On the 3rd anniversary of her disappearance, exactly at 9:18 p.m., 27 phones along the shore simultaneously registered audio disturbances despite no call. No signal, no source. Recordings later compared. Each device captured static, but beneath static. One clear sentence spoken by a young woman, calm, unafraid, familiar. "You finally listened." Divers still refuse nighttime contracts at that coordinate. Sonar scanners still malfunction only at that crater. And Lake of the Ozarks continues reflecting stars at the surface while sheltering echoes too heavy for sky. Lydia Marsh was never recovered because recovery assumes loss. But the lake did not lose her, it archived her. And some stories are not drowned, they are depth-bound, waiting not for rescue but recognition. Case status, cold, unresolved, and still reverberating beneath the quiet surface. It was the spring of 2008 in Branson, Missouri, a town known for live shows, tourists, flashing stage lights, and voices that sing louder than sorrow. But not all voices are heard on stage. Some whisper in empty parking lots, in half-lit motel rooms, and in hearts that no one pauses long enough to read. 27-year-old Lydia Harper was one of those quiet voices. Not dramatic, Not loud, not famous, yet unforgettable to anyone who crossed her path. She worked as a receptionist at a modest motel called Silver Pine Lodge. Located near the highway just far enough that most travelers only remembered the name when their GPS repeated it, Lydia had worked there for nearly 6 years, smiling behind the front desk, handing out room keys, giving late-night advice on where to get the best cheap coffee, and quietly memorizing the faces of lonely travelers who needed human warmth more than Wi-Fi passwords. Her life wasn't glamorous, but it was gentle, structured like a calm rhythm. Morning shift at the motel, evening walks by the lakeside, Saturday phone calls with her father, and Sunday morning church. She was the kind of person who believed kindness came back eventually, even if life seemed late with its deliveries. She lived alone in a small studio apartment filled with potted plants, handwritten notes, and an old record player that sometimes skipped but played her favorite song just fine. Most nights she closed her store of thoughts early and slept before midnight, but March 17, 2008 was not most nights. That evening, the motel was quieter than usual. Spring break season was ending and rooms were mostly empty. 2 travelers checked in around 7 p.m., one elderly couple at 7:42 p.m., and a single man roughly around 8:10 p.m., described later as calm, clean-shaven, polite, wearing a baseball cap and asking nothing more than room 19 near the vending machine. Lydia, ever professional, handed the key, gave directions to the ice dispenser, and smiled the kind of smile that made people momentarily feel less alone. CCTV footage later showed her sitting behind the desk at 9:13 p.m., flipping through a paperback novel. Tapping her pen on the counter between pages, the lobby clock ticking steadily above her head. 9:45 p.m. A notification chirped on her flip phone, a text from her best friend Marina, asking if Lydia wanted to join her for breakfast the next morning. Lydia replied, "Yes, bring pancakes, I'll bring stories." That was her last message ever typed. 10:02 p.m. The lobby camera captured something small but strange. Lydia glanced toward the parking lot window, expression shifting slightly. Subtle, not exactly fear, more like recognition blended with confusion, a moment long enough to raise questions but too short to offer answers. 10:07 p.m. She stepped out from behind the desk, grabbing her jacket, keys, and cell phone. She didn't lock the desk drawer. She didn't sign out. She didn't leave a note, which was unlike her in every possible way. She walked outside, camera capturing only her back as the automatic motel door sealed shut behind her, with a soft mechanical sigh. The parking lot was half empty, street lamp flickering on the far end, and 43 seconds later, the cameras caught a vehicle pulling out, dark in color. Headlights dim, make and model unclear due to glare and distance. Investigators later determined it was not registered to any motel guests. 10:08 p.m., Lydia was gone. When the overnight security guard Thomas Reed arrived at 11 p.m. for his shift, he found the lobby empty, the front desk lamp still glowing, a cup of tea cooling beside Lydia's unfinished book, tea bag string still hanging over the cup rim like a paused second in time. He assumed she was in the back office, but she wasn't. He called out twice. Silence answered. At 11:17 p.m., he called her phone. It rang once, twice, 3 times, then voicemail by 11:25 p.m. Thomas called the motel owner, panic growing like spreading ink. By midnight, authorities were contacted. Initial assumptions leaned toward voluntary disappearance. But Lydia left her purse, wages from her last shift, apartment keys, and most tellingly, her nightly journal. She wrote in it every evening. Never skipped a day in 9 years. The final entry, incomplete, read only, "If truth has footsteps, why does it walk towards silence?" The sentence cut off, abrupt, unfinished, like a door slammed mid-thought. Forensic teams found no signs of struggle inside the motel. No forced entry. Nothing overturned. No alarm triggered. Everything calm and orderly, except the missing woman. Investigators reconstructed her last movements, assuming she walked to the parking lot willingly. But the motive felt unclear. Lydia wasn't impulsive. She didn't meet strangers in dark places. Her social circle was small, simple, predictable. Detectives obtained phone records. The last incoming call before she stepped outside had no saved contact name. Number traced to an unregistered prepaid. Phone purchased in cash from a convenience store 3 counties away. Call duration, 28 seconds. Conversation content unknown. No recording, just impact. Marina was interrogated, shaken but innocent. Co-workers interviewed, clean. Motel guests questioned, including the man in room 19, who claimed he slept early and heard nothing. His alibi technically valid, yet something about his interview felt rehearsed to the detective taking notes. 2 weeks later, investigators pulled motel phone logs and discovered 3 calls placed from the lobby desk landline to the same unregistered phone in the 5 days leading up to Lydia's disappearance. Someone had contacted her repeatedly and quietly, but Lydia never mentioned it to anyone, not in text, not in journal entries, not in conversation, as if the communication existed in a separate version of her life, hidden under normalcy. Search parties combed lake edges, forest trails, abandoned service roads, motel dumpster routes, drainage tunnels beneath highways. Flyers spread across Branson like white paper storms. Locals prayed. Volunteers carried flashlights in desperation. Psychic tips flooded inboxes. None led anywhere. 7 months into the investigation, a truck driver reported seeing a girl matching Lydia's description at a gas station 90 miles away from Branson around 2 a.m., the same night she vanished. He remembered, because she looked like someone who didn't belong to the night. Surveillance footage was blurry but showed a woman alone, paying cash, not arguing, not panicked, just quiet. Too quiet. The trail went cold again until 2009, when Missouri State Police reopened the file after receiving an anonymous package containing a photograph printed on cheap, glossy paper. The image showed Lydia sitting in a chair, facing a window, filmed from behind. Room plain, no decor, natural light suggesting afternoon. Timestamp unreadable, message on the back written in lowercase, uneven handwriting. She listened when others didn't. Now no one listens to her. Forensic analysts tested everything: ink, pressure, paper origin, fingerprints, postal region, but the sender left no trace, no breath, no mistake. The investigation shifted toward human trafficking possibility. But no ransom call, no demands, and no digital ransom footprint ever surfaced. Authorities expanded the profile. Abduction for control, silence, punishment, or knowledge. Lydia wasn't wealthy, powerful, or publicly vocal, but the kindest people sometimes carry secrets others assume they don't have. Detectives interviewed locals who interacted with Lydia frequently. One remembered she once comforted a crying woman at the motel who left hurriedly the next morning. Another recalled Lydia discreetly calling someone a cab with her own money. One witness, the motel cleaner Gloria, delivered a chilling detail. 3 months before disappearing, Lydia found a debit card in room 19 from a previous guest. When trying to return it, she discovered the name didn't exist in any database. Almost as if the person themselves didn't exist, Lydia made a quiet comment that day. Some people are erased before they even go missing, Gloria remembered, because it made her uncomfortable at the time. In 2015, the lake behind Silver Pine Lodge was drained temporarily due to dam maintenance. Investigators recovered lost jewelry, bottles, car parts, an old motorbike frame, but no trace of Lydia, no bones, no phone, no clothing fibers, nothing that whispered human tragedy. Later that same year, an audio recording surfaced online in an anonymous forum for missing person discussions. The clip was 9 seconds long, static heavy, faint, unclear, but halfway through a voice could be heard, soft, polite, unmistakably female, saying one incomplete sentence. "Please tell my father I static swallowed the rest." Audio experts argued whether it was real or manipulated. But for Lydia's father, Frank Harper, it was the first time in 7 years he heard anything that resembled his daughter's voice, enough to break him open again. In 2020, a new detective took the case, reviewing every assumption, every detail, every silence between the facts. One pattern surfaced. Lydia didn't disappear into chaos. She disappeared into intentions. Someone chose the time, the tone, the method, and most importantly, the quiet. And silence can be engineered. Controlled, weaponized in 2022, Frank died without answers. His final request in the hospital was simple: don't let her story fade. Now in 2025, Branson still sings at night. Concerts end, lights dim, crowds clap, tourists leave. But 3 miles outside the town's glow, Silver Pine Lodge still stands, slightly older, slightly quieter. Room 19 is permanently closed, not by investigators but by space itself, as if the walls remember something they refuse to translate. Every year on March 17th, Marina visits the motel parking lot, places pancakes on the pavement, and whispers into the open air. I brought stories, but no reply ever comes. Lydia Harper didn't vanish in a scream. She vanished in a sentence, a pause, a phone call, a step outside, and a world that wasn't listening closely enough. And in the end, perhaps that's the cruelest tragedy. Not that she disappeared, but that she carried a voice built to comfort others. And the world still isn't sure who comforted her when it was her turn to be heard. St. Louis, Missouri, winter of 1996. A city wrapped in the cold kind of silence that bites deeper than snow, where some nights feel like they were written in another lifetime. 32-year-old Marcus Hale was not the kind of man society noticed, but he was the kind of man neighborhoods remembered without realizing why. He worked as a night janitor inside the old Crescent Arcade Mall, a massive building with echoing hallways, rusting service elevators, and security cameras that never seemed to record at the right time. Marcus had the face of someone who smiled gently at the world even when the world rarely smiled back. Tall, broad-shouldered, quiet-spoken, a man who carried sadness like a folded letter in his pocket, not shown but always there. He was a widower at 27 after losing his wife in a car accident. And ever since, life for him had been less about living and more about continuing. He lived alone in a small rented apartment above a closed laundromat with a single gold wedding band hanging from a chain around his neck, never removed, never explained. Co-workers described him as predictable, respectful, and painfully routine-driven. He arrived at work at exactly 9:50 p.m. every night, clocked in at 10 now sharp, polished the floors from east to west, cleaned the food court last, emptied trash, drank black coffee at 3:10 a.m. and left by 6 a.m. before the city fully woke. But on January 19, 1996, routine fractured and history swallowed a man whole. That evening, snow had begun falling early, heavy flakes layering the parking lot in white noise. Marcus entered the mall on camera at 9:48 p.m., dressed in his thick work coat, boots dusted with snow, keys clipped to his belt. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming, nothing prophetic. The security guard on shift, Ronald Pierce, later said Marcus gave his usual nod and half smile before heading toward the janitor closet. At 12:40 a.m., Marcus was captured on camera in the west corridor pushing a cleaning cart, humming quietly under his breath. Barely audible but present at 1:15 a.m., footage showed him passing the closed jewelry store window, lights off, metal gates down. At 1:52 a.m., the east corridor camera glitched for 37 seconds. A flicker, a skip, static lines cutting like a wound through the screen. Investigators would later describe it as technical failure, but the timing would haunt every detective assigned to the case for decades. At 2:04 a.m., Marcus was seen again near the empty fountain in the center court. But here is where everything shifts, subtly at first, violently later. He wasn't pushing the cleaning cart anymore. His hands were empty, his posture different, slower, as if listening to something distant or internal. He turned his head left, then right, not startled, not afraid, more like answering a sound only he could register. 2:06 a.m., he walked toward the northern service hallway, a restricted area that led to loading docks and maintenance tunnels beneath the mall, a section he never cleaned, a section he had no reason to enter. 2:07 a.m., the camera lost him, not through glitch, not through obstruction, just loss, like someone stepping out of existence between frames. 2:50 a.m., Ronald left his desk to do a routine walkthrough and noticed Marcus's cleaning cart abandoned near the service hallway entrance. Mop bucket still full, gloves lying on top, coffee thermos untouched, steam long gone. He called Marcus's name twice. Echo swallowed it. He checked the janitor closet, break room, storage bay, loading dock, nothing. 3:12 a.m., Ronald radioed mall management. 3:30 a.m., a search began inside the building. 4:10 a.m., authorities were notified. 4:40 a.m., police arrived. Snow still falling outside like heaven deleting footprints. Investigators searched the entire mall for 14 hours, including rooftops, restrooms, the underground drainage system, heating vents, storage vaults, even inside dismantled store displays. No sign, no struggle, no blood, no disturbance. It was as if Marcus had simply walked into an unwritten sentence. Detectives reviewed camera footage repeatedly, frame by frame, pixel by pixel. But the moment of disappearance occurred in a blind zone between two cameras. The one imperfection in the surveillance grid, statistically unlikely. Narratively precise, almost intentional, forensic teams tested every surface in the service corridor. Found no hair, skin cells, shoe scuffing, dragged weight, or fingerprints beyond Marcus's own. The winter cold outside revealed no body, no tracks, no tire impressions, no forced door entry, nothing disturbed. The world outside was sealed and quiet, weather behaving like an accomplice. Investigators interviewed Ronald, co-workers, mall merchants, nearby residents, transit drivers, late-night traffic operators. All confirmed the same truth. Marcus was ordinary, unnoticed, present until the moment he wasn't. His personal life offered no enemies, no debts, no suspicious contacts, no criminal record, no secret second world. His phone records were painfully mundane, work schedule reminders, conversations with his landlord, Sunday calls to his mother, who lived 400 miles away. The last call he made was at 7:18 p.m. that evening, telling her simply, "I'll visit soon, Ma." 3 words that would become her permanent wound. Investigators searched his apartment and found nothing unusual except one detail that made hardened detectives quiet. On his bedside table sat a handwritten note, folded neatly, dated 2 nights before his disappearance. It read, "If one day I don't come home, it won't be because I left. It'll be because someone finally noticed I was still here." The paper showed no signs of distress, no confession, no warning, no emotional farewell, just a quiet statement of existence, a philosophical bruise written in ink. Detectives couldn't decide if it was poetry, intuition, or truth preparing itself. Media outlets sensationalized the case for 6 weeks, calling him the vanishing janitor, a cruel nickname that reduced a life into a headline. Candlelight vigils were held in the mall parking lot, snow melting around flames that refused to last long. Customers placed flowers near the service hallway entrance as if grief needed directions. Rumors bloomed wildly, secret underground crime rings, organ trafficking, demolition cover-ups, mall tunnel myths, but no theory ever formed limbs strong enough to walk. The strangest development came 3 months later when an elderly maintenance worker came forward claiming that 2 weeks before Marcus disappeared, he heard him talking to someone inside the locked lower utility corridors late at night, a place even staff weren't authorized to enter alone. The worker admitted he never saw the other person, only heard Marcus laughing softly, a rare sound for a man who guarded joy like a fragile relic. Police pressed for details. The worker insisted the conversation sounded comfortable, unforced, familiar, as if Marcus had met someone who spoke his emotional language. Investigators asked the worker to identify voices from a recorded pool. Nothing matched, no leads materialized, no doors unlocked in 2004, 8 years into the cold silence. Demolition began on the old Crescent Arcade Mall to make way for a modern retail complex. The final sweep of the underground tunnels uncovered rusted pipes, forgotten stock boxes, decades-old coins, a lost class ring, and a single janitor glove. Marcus's size, same brand, same department store batch from his employee file, but no remains, no fabric, no proof of fate, just a glove holding absence like a hand. Journalists asked hardened detectives what haunted them most about the case. One replied with a sentence that was published only once and then pulled from print at the family's request. He didn't disappear like someone who feared death. He disappeared like someone who finally heard an answer. In 2016, Marcus's now elderly mother passed away, clutching his wedding band necklace in her hospital bed. She believed until her final breath that he would walk back in someday just like he used to. Silent, tired, alive, now in 2025, the new shopping complex stands bright, loud, modern, complete with glass elevators, automated doors, and digital maps. Customers walk over the same coordinates without knowing something. Human once vanished beneath their feet. Employees occasionally report unexplained late-night motion sensor triggers in the restricted basement level, even though the area has no staff activity. Security guards joke that the old building remembers its night janitor, but none volunteer for the midnight shift there, and sometimes, just sometimes, during power flickers and winter storms, the lower corridors register a faint humming sound on audio recorders. Low, soft, rhythm unknown, song unidentified, like someone working slowly, cleaning something invisible. Marcus Hale never sought to be a mystery, never asked to be legend, never demanded to be found. But life wrote him into one anyway, And if disappearance can be a language, his story speaks fluently, not in screams, not in evidence, not in endings, but in the quiet ache of unanswered footsteps walking into a world that finally looked 1 second too late. As the rain still falls in Springfield, and Pine Woods still whispers at night, one question remains. Did Emily vanish into the darkness, or did the darkness recognize her first? A voice meant to uncover the truth became a secret itself, and somewhere, her unfinished story is still waiting for someone brave enough to press play. If you felt this silence, if you felt this mystery, then don't walk away from it. Because the truth isn't loud, it hides in stories like this. This was Dark Truth Files, where we bring light to the cases the world forgot. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like this video, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, because a story only dies when we stop listening. I'll see you in the next case, where the truth is darker than fiction and the silence speaks louder than screams.